Okay, today we are playing a game on Oasis. We are in the gold SR range, and we will be playing one round as D.Va, one round as Reinhardt, and one round as Lucio. And there was some Orisa in there, but not really enough to be worth putting a PNG file over a JPEG file, so you know. Also, our current team composition is D.Va, Zarya, Junkrat, Bastion, Pharah, and Mercy. So, we've got 3 DPS and 1 healer, which is not generally recommended, but is fine. Unfortunately, though, 2 of those DPS are Junkrat and Bastion, who we would rather not have either of, really. We'd rather have most other DPSs and then another healer. But, you know, so we've got... This is what we have, though, so, you know. We are also on the console today, by the way, the PS4, it looks like, based on the hieroglyphics on display. So, there's that. So, we are also missing half this game. There's a lot of pretext to this one. We are missing half of this game. But it's only the 2 rounds we won, so, you know, who cares? Also, we won 2 rounds with, assume this team composition, so what do I know at the end of the day, right? So, before we start, we also can say, you know, before we start, we've also see that Pharah has just killed their Hanzo, and their Zenyatta has just killed our Junkrat. So, so both teams are down a person already, at least right now. And we're half HP right now, but there's Mercy. Bastion's also dead now. So we're currently down 2 people, which is pretty bad. We're also about to lose Mercy as well. The enemy team also has a lot of things that we want to be trying to deal with as, so there goes Mercy, trying to shoot at the Pharah, and then just sort of walks right into her death. Look, see? Oh, she wants it. Oh, no. Oh, God. Just pushed into the corner and mugged. So, they have a Hanzo, a Reaper, and a Pharah. All 3 of these people D.Va wants to mess with, and the rest of our team is really bad at fighting all of these people, really. So, there's a lot for us to deal with in this game right now. So, our whole team's dead right now. We are at 25 HP, so we have to leave regardless. Do not come back in. Just go pick up the large health kit by the staircase, because when you're walking around at 25 hit points, it's really easy to just suddenly die. Granted, I didn't expect Reinhardt to do that either, but, I mean, he wanted it. But, like, you had a lot of opportunity to go and just pick up the large health kit instead, and then that probably wouldn't have happened. So, we're coming back around now, whole team's here. They've just lost their Reinhardt. Reinhardt's their only tank, because they also have 3 DPS, but they have 2 healers and 1 tank. Given the choice, if you have to only have 1 healer or 1 tank, it's usually better to have 1 healer and 2 tanks, because if you only have 1 tank, it tends to be very easy to just get rolled over because you don't actually have a very strong front line when you only have 1 tank, so it's usually better to have 2 tanks. Especially in the current meta where it's just dive, 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 dive. You kind of want, like, big beefy people there. And then if you lose your only tank, well, it tends to feel pretty bad at that point. Granted, if you lose your only healer, that also feels very bad, but it's harder to kill a healer, generally, than it is to kill a tank. Counterintuitively. So, Reaper's over there. He's over in that corner right now, so we've got to keep an eye on that. But over there, we also see the Hanzo. So there's a lot of things for us to deal with in this game. Their Pharah is currently dead, so our number 1 priority... Well, it's probably the Hanzo, or we need to keep an eye on the Reaper. He's currently still over in this area. We just saw him swoop by the doorway, being very spooky. So we want to be trying to, like... Pharah's basically number 1 priority because she's sort of an unignorable DPS because she does too much damage. And if she is just completely ignored and has free range, she tends to just sort of kill your entire team. So she's basically always going to be number 1 priority. And then we want to try and get the Hanzo because he has the risk of one-shotting people from really far away because, you know, that's what snipers generally do. But we also have to keep in mind where Reaper is so that we can change over to him if he's suddenly threatening somebody. Like right now we know he's over there, we know Hanzo's over here, so we want to try and get the Hanzo, but just keep in mind where Reaper is. So, we see, we should be blocking for this Zarya, because we just saw Zarya take a big chunk of damage right in front of us. Because if we look really closely, we can see that an arrow actually just went straight through her neck. So that's very unfortunate for her. But she's really low right now. We want to be blocking for her so that she can actually get back. And then Reaper comes out as well, and they just, between them, they manage to finish off the Zarya. Put the defense matrix over the Zarya so that she doesn't get killed. Blocking is, when you're playing a tank, your number one priority is protecting other people, and then, like, damage comes after. So if you can try and block for somebody, block for somebody. So, Bastion's over here, like, doing something or other, and he's managed to kill their Reaper. So, now, they're pretty low. We also just saw in the corner over there, very, very briefly, we saw over in the corner, that Zenyatta is actually pretty close to being dead. He's got, like, 10 hit points. So, we want to try and finish that guy off, but the Pharah is on his face as well, so he doesn't actually get away regardless. But, gotta try and, like, keep an eye, because we want to, rather than floating out of this situation, because Reinhardt takes forever to kill you. Like, if Reinhardt doesn't pin you, he's going to take forever to kill you. And we just saw that this dude's over here, by himself, in the corner, and he's low HP. Even if we don't know that he's low HP, really, like, it's the Zenyatta who has just cornered himself, so we should try and go and get that guy instead, because Reinhardt, he's not going to kill us that quickly. It takes Reinhardt a really long time to kill a tank if he doesn't pin the tank. Especially now that sometimes his hammer just phases right through you. Granted, we are half HP, but we are still playing D.Va at the same time, so this is kind of like, you know, we've got like another 150 hit points under there. But, even though our Mercy got pinned, which is very unfortunate for the Mercy, the fight was going well enough by that point that it didn't actually matter, so everything's good. We should heal up, though, because our Mercy is currently dead, so healing is not going to be coming anytime soon. Playing D.Va, just jump in the pit, pick up the health kit, and float back out. Because we don't want to be walking around at, like, under half hit points as a tank. Especially versus people like Reaper and Hanzo. So, we are currently wasting a lot of our defense matrix right there, because, I mean, first off, we start blocking absolutely nothing, there's nobody over here. Then we're just holding it over nothing still, chasing after the Reaper. So, we've just used over slightly half of our defense matrix on absolutely nothing, which is not a very good use of company resources. Now he's coming at us, but now we've run out of defense matrix. Fortunately, Mercy's here to heal us at this point, but say once he actually started fighting us, we didn't have any defense matrix left to actually work with, because we'd already used most of it. So Junkrat somehow just managed to kill him right there, so good job, Junkrat, I guess. We've almost got self-destruct built up, which is, I mean, cool and all, but like, you know, self-destruct is a pretty bad ultimate, so we're not overly concerned about it. So, right now, this Pharah is currently shooting at our Bastion, who is just slightly behind us. And we don't notice until, well, it's basically already too late. And we still didn't have very much defense matrix to work with, because we had just used a bunch of it over there with the Reaper, so. And now, they're starting to come in, they got 2 people, now they're just starting to roll over us, we're running away. Reinhardt's too far away to actually beat us to death right now. Just like, pick up the health kit, like, you know, just like, pick up the health kit. Because you don't want to get killed as Baby D.Va. Getting killed as Baby D.Va is really, really bad. Because here's the thing with Baby D.Va, right? This is how I encourage you to think about it. If you get taken out of your mech, but if you can get back into your mech, you effectively respawn a lot quicker. Because you're not really a hero anymore when you get taken out of your mech. You know, you're 150 HP, little Asian girl with a pistol. You know, not very good, no abilities. But Call Mech charges up really fast, so if you can get back in your mech relatively quickly, you've effectively respawned like 5 or so seconds faster. Because, you know, 10 seconds to respawn, and then get all the way back, it's like 20 seconds. If you can just get a mech back in like 10 seconds, that's half the time shaved off right there. But, if you get taken out of your mech, and you're walking around as Baby D.Va for like 10 seconds, and then you die, you have just effectively added 10 seconds to your respawn timer, because the time you spend as Baby D.Va, you're not really a hero. You're trying to become a hero again. So if you die after being Baby D.Va, that's really bad. So just like, pick up the health kit, and then like sit really far back, and just try to build up Call Mech, so that you can actually become a hero, and get back in there and start fighting quickly. So, that's rather hard because there is a Reinhardt in the way right now, which is a bit of a problem. Reinhardt's just used Earth Shatter over there. He can't have hit very much because we're sort of all over here, and he in fact just charged off the edge by himself. At the same time, though, if you hear Hammer Down, just like turn around and see what's going on, because like, if nothing else, you'll get to get some shots in on the Reinhardt and build up Call Mech faster. So, we're back in our mech right now. Reinhardt's dead. Here's Farah, right in our face. We're gonna kill Farah because she's just opting to fight you and Zarya on, like, ground level, which is questionable at best. So, their whole team's dead right now because Reinhardt killed himself, so, right after ulting, so good job, Reinhardt. That must have been one of those times where he pushed charge and was like, what have I done? Oh god, and then he went straight off the edge. Or, he was gonna pin somebody else off the edge, but the hitbox thing that happens now happened, and that person just went straight up in the air, and he just went off the edge. Fix Reinhardt, damn it. So, anyway. We also see, though, aside from Reinhardt killing himself, both their healers are dead, so they're basically done, right off that alone. And then, we just killed Farah. So, 4 of them at least are dead right now. We then come in and use our ultimate, and then we say over the chat, oh, I thought people were on the point. There's no reason we should have thought people were on the point, because we just saw in the kill feed 4 people die, so there's logically nobody over here right now. Kill feed's very important. Keep an eye on it. Gives you a lot of information. So, Reaper was behind us. I think he died. Did Reaper die? Yes, Reaper died. Okay, don't have to worry about that then. Good job, Bastion, apparently. So, Reinhardt's over here. This Reinhardt's by himself right now, so we want to just, like, get on his face and start killing him. We end up bumping him slightly back towards his team, and now they're all starting to come back because they died at roughly the same time, which sucks. However, their Zenyatta just died, so they are coming in 5v6 right now. And their only healer is Lucio, who is not exactly a huge output healer, but we just lost our Mercy. So we're pretty hosed right now because our only healer's dead. They're also using a bunch of ultimates over here. We weren't over here to block them, but it's also, like, we should be over there to block something, at least. Like, we're over here trying to kill the Lucio, so we end up missing both those ultimates. Like, yeah, killing Lucio is important and all, but, like, your number one priority as a tank is still protecting people. So, like, when it's just Lucio over here, like, we want to be over there, like, actually, like, with our team, though. Killing Lucio's cool and all, but, like, the actual fight's happening over there on the point, and we're, like, the main tank right now, because the other tank is Zarya. So we need to be, like, over there, actually making space for our team, and then we'd be there to block those ultimates. So, you know, try to be with your team and, like, make space for them rather than trying to, like, kill people. But, well, I mean, sometimes you kill people, but generally you just want to be with your team, making space for them. Because that's kind of the point of a tank. It's like how healer, you know, you're playing a healer, healing is your number one priority, and then everything else comes after that. When you're a tank, blocking damage is your number one priority, and then everything else comes after that. So, also Lucio's hard to kill, because he's a very squirrely person. So, but even if we were over here to block these ultimates, there's no way we block the Barrage and the Death Blossom. So, probably either way the same thing happens, because they used a bunch of ultimates. And generally when you use a bunch of ultimates, you tend to get control of whatever the point is. Zarya used her ultimate after everybody was dead, which is also not exactly great. But we also weren't going to make it back to the point in time to use it anyway, so if anything, she should have used it sooner. Like, right as they were coming through the gate, she could have probably just, like, gathered them all up in the choke point. Well, I say the choke point, you know, the doorway onto the point. So, here, I believe, is where we play the little bit of Orisa. Or do we go straight into Reinhardt? No, we go straight into Reinhardt. I thought we played, like, a bit of Orisa right at the start here.
A little bit.
Yes, we do. We don't play Orisa very long. We, like, get killed pretty quickly, and then we change to Reinhardt. But we are playing Reinhardt right now. Orisa isn't very good, by the way. Orisa isn't very good against their current team composition because Orisa's just generally weak to dive, which means she's not very good in the current meta, since it's usually dive comps. But she is super weak to Reaper because, you know, she's a tank that has trouble getting people off of her, so she's just generally going to be weak to Reaper. She can't really do very much about Farah unless you're a god and just kill her by shooting her. And Hanzo, he would very much like you to have a huge head hitbox, as Orisa does. He very much likes huge heads because he's a sniper. So we're generally not very good against their team. They also have a Zenyatta who makes us even squishier. So we aren't very good against their team, really. I get the idea of why we changed to Orisa, but, like, yeah, you know, better to like, okay, so it's like, theoretically, Reinhardt would be better. Reinhardt doesn't function correctly right now, because all of his hitboxes are fucked up, basically. So, currently, don't really want to pick Reinhardt. They might as well just, like, fucking disable Reinhardt, really, because, like, it's honestly so terrible. Like, it's not okay, the things that happen when you're playing Reinhardt right now, where you just hit somebody, and then your hammer just goes straight through them, and does 0 down, like, okay. And then you try to charge someone, you're definitely gonna pin them, boop, straight up into the air. It's not really okay that this can happen. Like, yeah, he's technically still playable, but he's not really at the same time. So, like, theoretically Reinhardt would be better, but currently he doesn't function very well. So just sticking on D.Va would have basically been the best choice, because D.Va is still strong against all of those people. We were concerned, in the voice chat at the start of the first round, we were concerned about Zenyatta making life difficult for us. Here's what you do, you kill Zenyatta, basically. Zenyatta's really easy to kill. Especially as D.Va. And, like, yeah, there's a lot of things for us to worry about as D.Va still, because we have, like, the Reaper, Pharah, and Hanzo, who we want to be fucking with all of these people, so then Zenyatta's just another layer on top of it. But it's just, like, all the alternatives are worse at dealing with it than D.Va is, because Orisa is just weaker to these people than D.Va is, so she can't deal with the things. Winston is weak against, Reaper, so that's just a downgrade, because he's roughly equal with D.Va on dealing with the other people. Well, he's worse at dealing with Pharah, debatably, also. And then Reinhardt currently doesn't function properly, and is also not very good against those people either. So it's like, really, and Roadhog is like not a hero in the game anymore. So it's like, really our only choice is basically D.Va, because everything else is worse. It's like D.Va isn't necessarily great, because there's so many things for us to worry about as D.Va, but at least D.Va can deal with those things, you know what I mean? So, anyway though, I'm playing Orisa right now, not for very long. We have decided to come up the downwards area. We've come up the downwards area, which is a little awkward for our team, because this is just going to put us directly onto the point, and we're all very long-range heroes, so we don't really want to be, like, straight on the point. We'd rather go... It's hard to describe, because we can't really see properly, but basically we want to... Oh god, I've pushed a button. Oh no. Oh god, what have I done? It's okay. We'll find it. Oh god, professionalism. We would rather be on, like, our equivalent side over here, and we could either, like, sit there behind our shield and just, like, try and pressure the point, or try and go upstairs and get control of the high ground, because high ground's really overpowered, by the way, as Master Obi-Wan Kenobi showed us. So, this is sort of like, even like if we just went straight over there, we could stand at, like, the staircase and try and pressure people on there. With the team we have, we don't really want to end up just straight on the point, because we're a very long-range team. So, anyway though, that's sort of dependent on your team as well, like, you can't make them go somewhere they don't want to go, so, at the same time. So, we've lost, Reaper and Zarya already. I said Reaper and Zarya, didn't I? Bastion and Zarya. So we were basically fucked already, and then Reaper popped out behind us, and we're playing Orisa, so we were pretty fucked. But now we're gonna change to Reinhardt. We're thinking about it. No, do we change, don't we? Am I crazy?
No, I can be Reinhardt.
No, we change. Okay. Yeah.
Exactly what we needed.
So we're changing to Reinhardt because we now have a soldier. Which, I mean... I guess, but, like... D.Va's still just better. Because she's better against those heroes that they have, and Reinhardt doesn't function properly. So, it's just like Reinhardt has, like, no way of dealing with most of the things that are gonna cause us a problem, really. Because you can't hit Pharah, you're not gonna get to hit Hanzo very often, and after they buffed Reaper, Reaper just kills you. So, like, it used to be that Reinhardt could kill Reaper, but now Reaper lifesteals while he's hitting you, so you get killed by Reaper now. So it's still just like, D.Va's just better at dealing with these things. Reinhardt doesn't deal with them, and he doesn't function correctly. Please fix. So, there Reinhardt, he charged in. He's not allowed to do that. He died. We did lose our Bastion for it, but 3 of them dead right now. Just go in there. Get on that point. We've lost 2 people. We've lost all of our DPSs. But they've only got 2 supports and a Pharah right now. So, we just want to get in here and start hitting these people. We didn't hit anybody with the Pim, which is very sad, but also not unexpected. Go over there and start hitting that Zenyatta. Just, like, assert yourself over that Zenyatta. Because, like, Lucio starts doing that. But, like, Zenyatta is overstepping his boundaries right now. Because he's trying to get Mercy. So, like, he's not going to look at you. Like, these people over here, they're going to hit you regardless. Because Lucio's just going to walk through your shield. And Pharah is playing Pharah. So, she's going to do whatever. This guy, he's not looking at you. He's trying to kill Mercy. Go over here and smack this guy. Smack him with the Fire Strike. And then smack him with your hammer and just, like, kill this guy. Because he is not allowed to be doing what he's doing right now, and we're just sort of letting him do it. We know, in hindsight, it wouldn't have mattered because that happened. But, like, you're not going to block any damage at that point. No one's even standing behind you anymore. Just go and kill that Zenyatta. He's not allowed to walk forward that aggressively, and you've got to try and, like, stop him from killing Mercy. Then Pharah barrage, though, so, you know, we were fucked regardless. But that's what you should do in that situation. So we're coming back around this way. Again, our team is still really long range. Like, we don't really want to come out this way still, because we're going through this narrow choke point. Like, Reaper, Hanzo, and Pharah would all love us to walk through this area, right? We don't really want to go through this way, but we keep trying to go through this way. That's one of the most optimistic Earth Shatters I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, what's this guy thinking, right? What's he thinking? He looks at the Reinhardt, right? He sees you come around the corner, and he's like, yeah, Earth Shatter. Oh, look at that, we just put the shield up and we don't get hit, how about that? So, and then Bastion's in tank, so he kills him and Reaper, so feels bad for them. But then Bastion dies somehow. So, but they're alive. We got rezzed we died right after the res happened, which feels bad, man. So, you know, I know why we charged him. It's unfortunate it didn't work out. At this point, like, we want to hit the Bastion. We want to hit the Lucio. Yeah, I get that. But there's a Hanzo behind us shooting into us right now. Realistically, like, you're not gonna kill this Lucio unless the Lucio really fucks up and lets you kill him. So a better use of your time right now is blocking the Hanzo so that he can't kill your team and that he also can't be killing you. Because, like, this guy, it's not really feasible that you're gonna kill him because he has to fuck up and let you kill him. And then we just end up taking a bunch of damage and we end up getting killed by Hanzo. Again, blocking damage takes priority over dealing damage, and we had the opportunity to block, like, their only remaining, like, real DPS at that point. But we just tried to hit the Lucio and we got killed. Feels bad, man. So, our team got control of the point anyway, because the fight was going so well by that point, it didn't matter if we died or not anyway, because we'd already killed most of their team. And, our teammates got rezzed. And we missed the res, which feels bad, obviously, you know. So we see that the enemy team is doing the same general thing. Reaper's getting right up in our grill right now. He's just spooking right up to us. So, here's what I do, right? I see Reaper doing this. Reaper's gonna come right at you, right? Like, he's doing this. He's gonna Wraith form right into you to try and kill you. Here's what I do when I see this. I'm like, alright, this guy's coming in. I back up down the staircase a little bit. And then, right before I think he's about to come out of Wraith form, which is, you know, pretty easy to predict because there's, like, sound cues and everything. And he's already, like, half out by this point. As soon as I think he's about to come out of Wraith form, I start charging. And then, because we're in the staircase, like, he's gonna follow you no matter where you go at this point. Like, that's what he's gonna do. Also, I realized I'm covering something up with my camera. Oh god, there we go. So, he's gonna come at you no matter what you do at this point. Go down the staircase, he's gonna have to come down the narrow choke point at you. You charge him, as he's coming out of Wraith form, you kill him. Theoretically, assuming hitboxes and stars align, but you probably kill him. And that's pretty cool, because now he's just, like, coming right at us, and now we're in a position where we're just gonna get fucked. We actually miraculously managed to get away with it. Isn't that incredible? Doesn't this, like, you see this situation happening, do you expect to get out? No, not really. So, yeah, if, like, Reaper's coming at you like that, he's gonna, like, Wraith form up to you. If you think he's gonna come in at you regardless, just back up and, like, pin him in the narrow choke point, because there's, like, no way he dodges you in that area. So, we don't need to try and pin this guy. You can just hit this guy. Like, just take it down and start hitting him. Because also, right, you're not blocking really anything right now, because these people are all looking at somebody else. They're all looking over there, so you're not actually blocking anything right now. Like, he's backing up into you. Like, just take your hand, like, take your shield down and start swinging at that guy instead. There's no need to try and pin him, because that's just harder. Like, yeah, you'll kill him if you pin him, but it's harder to line up than just smacking him with your hammer. Well, I say that, but then there's the possibility it just goes right through his body. So we have Earth Shatter built up. We don't really want to use it on this situation. Like, just, like, swing at that dude. Like, when he's coming at you like this dude is not full health. Like, just smack him. Just smack him. He's only gonna kill you if he gets a headshot, but, like, even then, you know, Mercy's still here with you. If he's gonna walk right past you like that, he's not full health right now because he's been in a fight this entire time. Just smack him. Just smack him right there. Again, there's no need to try and pin him. That's making it more difficult than it needs to be. Because your Fire Strike's up right now. If you Fire Strike this guy, he probably just dies, because he's probably not full HP. The Fire Strike alone probably kills him. If it doesn't, a swing definitely does after that. There's no need to try and pin him, because this guy's dead. He's, like, dead regardless. Mercy hits him, like, once and he dies. So there's no need to try and pin him. That's just making it more difficult. Just smack the guy. So here's Reaper. It's very unfortunate we started Fire Striking right as Reaper appeared, because, well, it means we can't really do anything about it. At the same time, though, we knew Reaper was coming. Well, not really, but, like, he just Wraith formed right in front of us, right there. Like, he's gonna Death Blossom at that point. And then we start Fire Striking. It's sort of like, you know, you can anticipate that it's coming, but it might be, it's either, like, reaction or or failing to anticipate that coming. But if a Reaper's Wraith forming into you like that, he is gonna probably start using his ultimate. So, and then, you know, if you're ready for that, just, like, ult across him, basically, and kill him, and probably the Reinhardt as well. Or just block the Death Blossom as well, that's also always a possibility. So, but we've gotten back over here, Mercy just res people, oh fuck, oh shit, oh damn, oh god, feels bad, man. That's also why we don't want to come up that doorway. Like, we keep coming up this doorway, it's just, it's not good times in that doorway for us versus their team. We're not gonna get back, I'll spoil the surprise, we don't get back, you know. And I know, I'm sure you're amazed to hear that. So, this is the round we play Lucio in. Now we have a Winston and an Orisa.
They won't see this coming.
And then we have a Zarya. Okay, so, you know, we have a slightly more well-rounded team now. We saw very briefly what our team was right there. Hold on. Come on. Where's that team at? Push the back button. Come on. There you go. So we have a more well-rounded team now, because we actually have 3 tanks, so that's not, you know, that's not the best, but we have, I mean, here's the thing, if this Junkrat was playing a better DPS, this would be, like, a perfectly fine team comp, in my opinion, because there's certain things with the team comp that you can lean on if there's something wrong, if, like, versus, like, assuming the enemy team, there's something wrong with their team, there's things you can lean on very heavily. If they only have 1 healer, you kill the 1 healer, they lose. It's just that simple. But like, that's a very obvious one. But there's other things as well, where it's like, if they have 1 tank and 3 DPS, if you just pick more tanks, you usually can just kill them. Because, especially since, like, diving tanks like D.Va and Winston. So if you've got, like, D.Va, Winston, Zarya, and they've got 3 DPS and 1 tank, you just circumnavigate that 1 tank, and then just body their DPS. Because their front line can't meet your front line, right? Because, I mean, first off, you'll go around them, but, like, you've got 3 tanks, they've got 1 tank, your front line is just so much beefier than theirs, especially if you have an Ana as one of your supports. Your front line's so strong, you should just get to roll over them, because, yeah, they've got more DPS, but DPS are also squishy. So if you just body them, there's not a lot they can do about it. So their team has 3 DPS and 1 tank right now. So I actually think this is good. I'd rather Orisa was playing D.Va and then we just jump on them. It also makes it easier to kill Pharah, because if you got a Winston and a D.Va, that's like Pharah dead, basically. Because you just both get up there, you kill the Pharah. Both of them dive on the Hanzo, you kill the Hanzo. Reaper's still there, but D.Va counters Reaper, so, you know. So it's like, if Orisa was D.Va and Junkrat was like basically anything else, like Pharah, Genji, Tracer, anything, basically. If he was a better DPS, and Orisa was D.Va, I think this would be, like, the perfect team to play against their team, because you should just be able to, like, roll past their Reinhardt and kill their DPS, and then clean up the rest of the fight. So, you know, that wasn't very articulately delivered, especially at the start, but like, the moral of the story is, like, if you can identify certain weaknesses with the enemy team's composition, it can be very easy to punish that, if you can get, like, your team to cooperate with you a little bit. Though, sometimes it's more easy. Sometimes you don't need your team, like, if they only have one healer, you can kill the healer, right? What we were just talking about with, like, 3 tanks, you need to get your team to actually work with you a little bit, which, I mean, is very hit and miss, depending on your team. So, we're playing Lucio right now, anyway, so, our Zenyatta has just died to Reaper, which is not exactly, you know, surprising information. We are in our healing aura while nobody currently needs healing, because that Winston was actually, like, full HP, right? Was he not? Am I crazy? Am I super crazy? No, he's mostly full HP at that point. So we're currently healing nobody. If you're healing people at full HP, that's the same as you having no aura turned on. So we want to be in the speed aura as much as possible. Now there's people to heal. We have our amp it up as well, so just immediately turn it on. So here's the other thing though. Let's back it up a little bit, right? Because I fucked everything up there. So this is all happening. This is where the kill feed becomes very important because it tells you something, right? So we just saw Zenyatta, but we also just generally know Zenyatta is going to be very far back because he's playing Zenyatta. Reaper just killed Zenyatta. So that means Reaper got really close to Zenyatta. That means Reaper is behind us right now. So we're playing Lucio, so there's not necessarily very much we can do about it, but we should, like, either try and deal with it or, like, communicate that that's happening behind us so that we can try and do something about it because, like, the kill feed right there has just told us Reaper is behind us. So we don't want Reaper to be behind us. We want to do something about that. So, you know, it doesn't seem like we know. Doesn't seem like anybody knows, but also Reinhardt's kind of in here, and then Reaper's behind us. And then Orisa. By the time we know that it's happening, it's already too late, because he's killed Orisa.
Yeah.
The fight's still going well, but, like, our team's kind of, like, going over there, and we've got, like, this Reaper and Pharah situation happening back here. So, yeah, it's not exactly good times. This is the situation where you just put your speed aura on because your healing aura isn't going to help you. Because you're not gonna out-heal Reaper and Pharah shooting you, so your best option is to just go into the speed aura, amp it up if you feel like it as well, and just try and, like, dodge instead. Because you won't out-heal this damage. If you can't out-heal the damage, you're better off just being in the speed aura and trying to outmaneuver it. Generally. So, don't amp it up. Don't do that. Right there where we amp it up out of the gate to get there faster. This... Oh god, Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. So, when you amp it up like that, you only get there, like, a second or two faster, but you trade a 12-second cooldown to do that. 12 seconds is a fucking eternity, man. So, like, yeah, it gets you there slightly faster, not even that much faster. Especially if it's just you, because you can, like, wall ride off stuff to get there faster. And then when you get there, it's like, oh, amp it up still on cooldown for another 6 seconds. Gee, I wish I had amp it up to actually, like, heal this Zenyatta, who's mostly dead right now. You know? It's not worth the getting there like, a second or two faster. It's not worth trading a 12-second cooldown to do that. Because you need amp it up to actually, like, be there during a fight, really. Because, you know, just the healing aura kind of sucks. But amped up healing aura is pretty good. So, they're currently trying to come through right here. We've got Winston tasing them. Junkrat just, like, killed himself, so that's cool. Reaper's behind us again. We just got shot by the Reaper. He, like, it seems like an overreaction to Wraith form away, because he can't have been very wounded, but he just suddenly Wraith formed away, so, you know, whatever. Zenyatta's gotten bullied around. You know, we're playing Lucio, so there's, like, less agency that we really have over this situation, really, you know? Like, there's not a very much you can do to stop a Reaper or a Pharah. Pharah's also ulting right above our heads right now. So, we're currently the only ones still here, which is sad. Junkrat's gotten back, but, like, whoa, Junkrat's here, you know? So, Team's getting back now, though. Now we've got Zarya here with us. Yeah, it's really a lose-lose situation, because there's only 3 people here. Because it's like, you kind of want a sound barrier in this situation, because your team's starting to get fucked up, but at the same time, so few of your team are actually back yet. I wouldn't recommend a sound barriering in that situation, because half your team isn't there, so it probably wouldn't have mattered. So it's just kind of like, you know, at least we still have our ultimate. It's generally better to, like... I'm trying to think how to put this correctly. Like, if you don't think your ultimate is going to swing the fight, you're usually better off just holding the ultimate. Because if you're pretty confident it won't swing the fight, and you use it, but you lose the fight still, it's like, well, now I just don't have the ultimate. If you think you're gonna lose regardless of your ultimate, it's better to hold it, because then you can just use it again for the next fight. But then, like, that kind of conflicts with the other rule, where it's like, you don't want to be the one that dies with your ultimate, because then it's like, well, what if that ultimate would have swung the fight around? So you've really gotta, like, play it by ear. Like, do I think my ultimate will win this fight, or do I think we'll lose even if I ult right now? You know, you gotta just kind of, like, make the call at the time. So, we were probably pretty fucked there. So, that's like, yo, whoa, fucking hell, right? Like, Jesus Christ, fuck me, I guess, Zenyatta's like right now. And I'd be exactly like that. I don't know why Reaper felt the need to do that. Like, maybe he thought he was gonna get you as well, but I don't know that he even really saw you, so... Fuck Zenyatta, I guess. Fuck Tranquility, you know? Fuck that. So we're back now. Our team's mostly here. Here comes Reinhardt. Reinhardt's in the middle of us right now. That's pretty spooky. At this point, it's like pretty much just like sound barrier during the start of this, pretty much. Like, Junkrat's fucked. Whatever, Junkrat's fucked. Like, Winston comes back around here. Just like sound barrier right now, because like Reinhardt's coming into us. Orissa's kind of low HP. Winston's in there still fighting people. It's like, at that point, we're pretty in the fight. Just sound barrier, because... You're all there. Yeah, you lost Junkrat, but like, you know, whatever. It's Junkrat, who cares? All of your actual team is still there. So I just ult for them, because you're in this fight at this point. And then, this is kind of hindsight, but we know if we did it sound barrier, somebody else is probably still alive for this Graviton, but you know, that's in hindsight. Which, as they say, is always 2020. So, Zarya has managed to just kill fucking everyone despite not actually having that much charge built up, though. So, good job, Zarya, and we've gotten control of the point. And we still have sound barrier. So, great, awesome. Everything worked out. So, now we're just waiting for them to come back. Sitting around. We're in the speed aura. They'll be back here one day. Junkrat's determined to try and kill himself. There's no need to there's no need to amp it up for that guy. He's got the Harmony Orb on him. You can just heal him. You can just let Zenyatta heal him. He's not about to die. He doesn't need it. And that's just a 12-second cooldown we used to heal somebody who was gonna get healed regardless. So, that's not a very good use of company resources. Here comes Reinhardt. Reinhardt just put in Zarya. So... Like, this is gonna... If you think Reinhardt's gonna pin somebody... Like right here. He's gonna pin the Zarya, right? You will want a sound barrier for that most of the time, because Reinhardt's coming in. He's gonna be in regardless at that point. Like, he's in. He's initiating this fight. You don't want the person he's pinning to die, or mostly die. Like, he's gonna pin the Zarya, that means Zarya's gonna have 100 HP left. If you sound barrier, she just has full HP. Reinhardt doesn't kill anybody, she's there at full HP, you kill the Reinhardt because he's in the middle of your team, and then you turn the fight around like that. If you think somebody's gonna get pinned, you will usually just want a sound barrier to try and save that person. Like, Reinhardt's gonna be in there regardless, so... And it's like, sound barrier is not that good as an ultimate. Like, you know, it's like, if you compare it to Transcendence, right? Because, like, you know, they're both defensive ultimates, but... As far as I'm concerned, Lucio's ult is offensive, basically, and here's why. Compare it to Transcendence. If you get caught in the Graviton, if Zenyatta Transcendences, you don't die, right? You don't die. Unless they throw a Pulse Bomb in there, or Ana throws, like, a sick grenade into your team. But barring those two circumstances, you don't die anymore. if you use Sound Barrier in the Graviton, you maybe still die, right? Like, if Pharah ults above your head, you die. Like, the Sound Barrier doesn't stop that. Transcendence does. Reaper spins right next to you. Transcendence stops that. Sound Barrier doesn't stop that. So it's like, it's not very good as a defensive ultimate. It doesn't have the same, like, super application as Transcendence, because Sound Barrier degrades so quickly. So it's really good to absorb, like, a burst of damage. It's not very good at, denying, like, sustained damage, like, Barrage or Death Blossom. These take too long. The Sound Barrier degrades off. He still kills people. So the best defensive uses of Sound Barrier are stopping Pulse Bomb, but there's, like, a timing thing associated with that, obviously, and, like, stopping somebody from getting pinned, because, like, these are big bursts of damage that you can just stop from happening with Pulse Bomb, with, Sound Barrier. Or you use it while you're initiating, right? Because you Sound Barrier, you amp up the speed boost, and you go in. And you just use the barrier. The barrier is going to degrade really quickly, but you just use that to absorb the burst of damage you take when you're going into the fight, right? So, even though it's a quote-unquote defensive ultimate, I think the best application of Sound Barrier is to use it offensively. Lucio also does enough damage now that it builds up fairly quickly, so you don't have to be so worried about, like, executing it correctly, because you'll actually build up a second one during the game, which is incredible. So, like, if you think, like, if somebody's gonna get pinned, if you think somebody's just gonna get, like, bursted, just, like, use it to save that person, because it's not that great as a defensive ultimate. If you think somebody's gonna die, you might as well just use it to try and save somebody from getting picked off. Or you want to save it for when you're initiating the fight. But we've already got control of the point right now, so we're not going to be initiating any fights anytime soon, because we're currently playing the defense team, basically. So just using it to block, like, the Reinhardt as he's coming in is going to be the best application. We layer our ultimates there, which is also not very good, because Transcendence is still happening at that point. You know, if you're going to use it like that, you want to wait till Transcendence is over and then do it, or when it's about to be over. We don't want to layer them on top of each other. But, like, they've really fucked this engagement up, so it's not exactly going very well for them right now. I just killed the Zenyatta. We're gonna bully this guy to death right now. There's a dragon coming, but it's coming from spawn, so it's gonna take a while to get there. Like, shoot this dude. Like, just shoot this dude. Like, we just stop shooting the dude. Just shoot the dude. Like, help your team kill that guy fast. Oh, we're lagging, actually, aren't we? Because everyone was suddenly running in place. Alright, fair enough, I guess. So we end up winning the game. Great, awesome. Everything worked out in the end. And now the enemy team is like, yeah, we can do it. We can do it. Oh, fuck. Well, I guess we just wasted 2 extra rounds. That's how I feel in that kind of situation anyway. So here we see a round that we didn't actually see in this video. Alright. Yeah, did he just shoot that guy and he didn't die? Oh, it didn't hit him directly. Alright, fair enough. I thought he just, like, hit the Junkrat and he didn't die. I was like, excuse me, how much HP does Junkrat have suddenly? Alright, so. The things that stand out the most. I mean, ult execution for Lucio. I don't think we did a very good job with our sound barriers that game. We sat on them for a really long time. It's like, we could have found opportunities to use those earlier on. Or, you know, at all, in some cases. D.Va, we aren't targeting people correctly. We're just sort of like, well, I mean, it's based off, like, the one round we saw as D.Va, but it seemed like we were basically, you know, there were a lot of things we wanted to focus on, but we didn't really focus on any one thing of them. We just sort of, like, bounced back and forth and, like, kind of, like, sort of seemed a bit indecisive. Like, just, like, you know, focus on, like, the things you're good at focus on the Reaper, the Pharah, the Hanzo. Don't worry about, like, killing the Lucio. Just, like, stop those other people from killing your team and try and kill them if possible. Don't worry about, like, killing Lucio. Just leave that to, like, fucking, I guess, Junkrat, you know. Like, leave it to your DPS. That's their job. You want to be, like, making space for people. You want to be, like, focusing on focus on dealing with the things that you're really good at dealing with. D.Va is really good at dealing with, like, Hanzo, Reaper, and Pharah. So worry more about that. So, you know, create space. Block damage. Highest priority for a tank. Reinhardt, same thing. Like, don't worry about doing damage so much as blocking damage. Same thing. But also know when to assert yourself, because, like, we just let that Zenyatta, like, get away with so much during that one round. Like, he's bullying the Mercy. Just fucking hit that guy. He's trying to walk through your shield and kill you while you got a Mercy with you. Just hit that guy. He's mostly dead. Just smack that guy into the ground. Tell him to fuck his tranquility. Fuck him and his orbs, too, basically. Those were like the biggest things. Those were the biggest things that stood out to me. And then there were all the other little things, but those were the biggest things that stood out to me. So, thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.